We are honored to have Chanchal Poddar, a passionate architect with over 8 years of experience. Since 2019, he has been working with Design Forum International. Chanchal has studied architecture at Vastu Kala Academy, and his career took off with a metro project in 2015. Over the years, he has been involved in various public infrastructure projects, which has given him an exceptional design acumen for public building and projects. Some of his projects include Srinagar High Court, Jammu High Court, Delhi Cantonment, and Trivandrum Railway Station. Architect Chanchal will present a submission on terminal design and passenger experience. So let's welcome Chanchal.
So the thing what I'm trying to express through my 5 minutes talk would be like with Changi Airport, right? Like designed by one of the greatest of architects, Moshe Safdie, and you don't see a terminal here. I don't see a terminal here. I see it's an amalgamation of what architecture should be. It's a mixture of wow. It's a mixture of what what people want from its surrounding, and it's a mixture of function, I must say. So what I feel in airport in the recent times with technological advancement, with the global aviation industry moving so forward because of the help of technology, and India being a forefront runners in terms of the amount of airport infrastructure that is being built now is unheard of. Now, when we come to airport design, and I understand that a few of the students must also have joined through this. I would like to uh, highlight a few points. When we design an airport, we talk about three components, right? There comes the land side, the terminal building, which acts as the bridge in between, and there comes the city side, air side. So the terminal building becomes the main bridge for both these sides. What happens is, due to the huge expanse of terminals that are coming up and the passenger capacity which has increased over the period of time, we see that a lot of airports has expanded a lot, as ma'am was highlighting the terminal 1, terminal 2, terminal 3, terminal 4, a number of terminals being added to the existing brownfield projects. You must understand that Delhi airport is the second most busiest airport in the world. It is able to handle around 65 million passengers in a year, and that's a huge number. It's unheard of. Now, the expanse will further increase, and the government is ready to actually build more and add to it. And why is that? It is because of people, how lifestyle has changed. How previously, if we go back to the history, it was just the railroads that were focused on. I'm talking about the 30s, 1930s, the 1940s. So at that time, now we say that airports are the architectural infrastructure that we should refer to, but those days it was the railway stations, it was just the opposite. So but when after the advent of technological advancements, and as businesses grew, interglobal businesses grew, and even after the world war, actually that's what changed everything, is that people started flying to places rather than spending more time on trains. And it was especially in the 1960s and the 70s where advancement of airport design through various architects of that time, one of them known as Eero Saarinen, uh, you know, a futurist architect of that time. He created terminals which were vast, and it was unheard of at that time. So he created shell structured terminal buildings, and at that time it it preceded the architecture of railway stations at that time. Then what happened, few of the architects started uh, using the architectural style of railway stations and using it for terminal buildings. So that is how the architecture of airports started at that time. They used to copy the style how railway stations used to look. Only the airfield was the masterpiece of the architect, and everybody, it was a show for the passengers. So that is how it started, and now what, it's the opposite. Now we are referring to airport architecture around the world, around the globe, and then we are relating back it to railway stations, and we are saying that now this railway station is of airport like, it is of airport quality. And I must say, it is the 1990s where the advancement of technologies, especially the HVAC, was it was always a problem to cool down such a huge volume of terminal building with so many people coming in and out. It was the advancement of HVAC systems, and I must name Sir Norman Foster. Uh, his use of steel in airports is what actually brought the change. It is the 90s which actually gave airport architecture the vast roofs, the more than imagined capacity handling possibilities, all those things came into play. Now, in the modern day, when I'm talking about airport terminal building, as Komal quite brilliantly highlighted, so the building is a mix and match of a lot of things. It starts from air handling, it starts from baggage handling, it has concessionaries in it, a lot of F&B, advertisement, wayfinding for the people, taxi pickup, a lot of like people are coming in buses, departure, arrival, all separated through on. So it's a machinery, it's a modern day machine, complex machines which works so fluently to create uh, uh, like airports like that of Delhi, that of Mumbai, that we have in India. So I must say that the modern technology advancement in India and the global thing that has happened lately is what has created the recent architecture in India. I must show that uh, currently we have been doing a lot of, these were some examples that I wanted to showcase the severe structures that has been built up for airports, the capacity that they're able to handle, airports of Doha in Saudis. Uh, so I must talk about two airports that we have worked recently, one being Guwahati Airport. So in this, we did the master planning uh, and as well as the facade and the detailings as well as architects. We have, what we have done is we have segregated the departure areas from the arrival areas because the capacity was huge, around 3 million passengers a year. And what we did is that we took our concept from folding paper. So when you look at it, you see the roof is looks like folded paper, and it has been made in such a configuration that it looks like from far afar like wings floating on the overall master plan. The inner airport terminal is actually a single span supported by columns which look like trees, branches of trees. And we have tried to use the state of the art technologies, which includes check-in counters, which are self and autonomous. Uh, Along with that, we have also tried to create a vision of India through the modern airport facade. Further to that, what I might add is that in airports, because of the huge mass of the terminal building, normally what we do is we create a lot of cross ventilation building so that the inner sides of the terminal doesn't get heated up. So we use a number of landscape courtyards inside the building terminal, as well as, because airports are what a city represents, it is the first gateway. Whenever a visitor gets into a city, it is the first gateway to the city. We try to incorporate the culture of the place, the identity of the place inside the airport. So we have used sculptures showing the animals which are prevalent on those areas. These are a few of the views. This was a concept evolution that we did, that by folding paper into a stable form by using the concept of origami, which is a Japanese format. we have tried to come up to the shape that we have got for the roof. Further to that, I must add that airports being as massive and complex in overall structure, we tend to provide a majority of skylights. So the airports are planned in such a way that it is aligned in the north south direction, with the like the longer side being facing the east and west, so that you see from the early morning till the late afternoon you can get the majority of skylight all throughout the day. So it brings down, as Komal was highlighting, it brings down the overall energy consumption of the terminal building. So that being one of the uh, essential things, essential design aspects that we follow. Further to that, I must add that the city side development is connected to the airside widened apron. So the apron design is also been taken up by the location of the terminal building, how the air flights are getting in, uh, connected to the airside, the aero bridges is what it is. These were some of the exploded geometries showing the roof system, the structural system of the overall building, how the arrival levels and the departure levels have been synchronized along. Further to that, I feel that in an airport, the uh, effect of F&B, concessionaries, retail is what which actually rejuvenates the place. Now, in a setting where people have done their security check. Now, in an airport, you go there at least 3 hours beforehand, and after that, the people are waiting for their flights. So we actually try to utilize the commercial aspect during those times. So we give a lot of retail concessionaires over there, a lot of food court amenities over there. We provide airline lounges as well in those areas, because that is the position where people can actually utilize the time, they spend their time and not feel like that it's a high stressed environment at that moment. So I think I am going over my given timeline. What I must address is that an airport is, and in an airport, what we try nowadays, it's an amalgamation of all the services, like sustainability factors, like the passive design strategies that we take up during the design of the airports, and also making the airport a machinery which supports the people, is what as an architect we feel is the four most important thing for us. So without with knowing the functions of each entrance exits, how the flights, how people are getting into their flights, the timings, all these things, it is the terminal building which becomes the heart of the overall development, which brings together the city's uh, look forward as from, and that is what I feel as an architect we should be able to highlight in terms of only of the architecture.
Thank you, Chanchal, for such an engaging talk on terminal designs and passenger experience.